In the kill or be killed world of a predator, experience is everything. Even for an accomplished hunter, getting a meal is far from guaranteed, especially when the prey has evolved to fight back. A hot, steamy jungle, filled with life. It is strange to think that this place will one day be the Transantarctic Mountains. But at this point in time, Antarctica is dinosaur country. The subtropical supercontinent is home to many types of reptile. This is not a lizard, but a rhynchocephalian, a type of reptile that will one day give rise to New Zealand's tuatara. But it is dwarfed by the dinosaurs that call this place home. These great beasts are Cryolophosaurus, 7-meter predecessors of the giant sauropods. But for these early Jurassic eating machines, being the size of airliners is a long way off. This pair wander the forest in search of food and water. Since the end of the Triassic period, the climate has become a lot more humid. In this warm but much wetter world, forest covers over half the land surface of the Earth, and this has allowed evolution to explode to new heights. The Cryolophosaurus can't tell if it's friend or foe, but there is definitely something out there. They have good reason to be wary. But there's no point in being overdramatic. Young sauropodomorphs, unrelated to Cryolophosaurus. Young animals always seek out the protection of larger ones. In this case, though, they found the wrong species. But the Cryolophosaurus male is still somewhat cautious. After all, vulnerable animals often attract the attention of predators, and Antarctica is home to one of the most infamous predators of the early Jurassic. The Cryolophosaurus turned to face the assailant. A male Cryolophosaurus, the apex predator of the Antarctic. Against the two of them, he's facing more than he can handle. The claws on their hands are mostly used to forage, but in situations like this, they double as weapons. One successful hit could put him out of action for weeks. Perhaps it's better to back down. He might be the largest carnivore in the southern hemisphere, but against foes like these, you have to know when you beat him. Besides, he has easier prey to kill. Elsewhere, the young sauropodomorphs continue to move, but the wounded one is falling behind. By waiting for its sibling to catch up, this one is vulnerable. It's best to keep moving, even though this one has run out of steam. The first to find the body is an opportunistic scavenger. This is an early crocodile, a descendant of the giant predators of the Triassic. But now, under the rule of the dinosaurs, they have taken up many new roles. Unfortunately for this one, the owner of the kill has arrived to claim his meal. Sometimes, desperation can cause an animal to not give in. But for this little guy, a warning is often enough. For an animal that doesn't usually hunt in packs, getting a meal can often be quite difficult. But at the same time, every year, there's an interruption to this solitary lifestyle. It will soon be time to find a mate. And to do so, he's got some very fancy headgear. He's not known as Elvisaurus for nothing. Having such flamboyant headgear is really only useful if you can use it. For days, the Cryolophosaurus has been following a female's scent trail. But he has a problem. The smell of the female is faint. Scent marking is a good way to find one another, but the trail he is tracking is days old. At this point, she could be anywhere within 60 kilometers. It's a female, but not the species he's looking for. Eventually, he reaches an area of congregation. This is a communal nesting ground. Hundreds of eggs that belong to early sauropods. Even this early in their evolution, they abandon their offspring, leaving them to face predators like these Cryolophysids. He's not interested. The king of the largest forest on Earth has more important things to do than squabble with his subordinates. The Cryolophysids are free to gorge themselves on the next generation of sauropods. Even this persistent eating won't affect the population that much. the Cryolophosaurus resumes his search. For adult sauropodomorphs, even Glaciolosaurus, most of their lives are spent eating. Being bipedal, they have an anatomical advantage over their descendants. But being engrossed in the same activity all day can leave you distracted. The Cryolophosaurus is hungry once again. Yet again, it's a 2 against 1. It's brains versus brawn, and Cryolophosaurus has seen something he can use to his advantage. The river has cut a deep trench into the landscape. The exposed rocks at the bottom might be useful if he can push one of them over the edge. In a standoff like this, it only takes one move for things to crack. The female chooses to back down. But Cryolophosaurus will still have to deal with the claws of the male. He's narrowly missed having the front of his nose taken off. He has chosen to target the female. Long arms on both of them allow for grappling. He's close enough to be killed by her claws. Suddenly, the male is alone. Looking down over the edge of the cliff, as far as he can tell, both his mate and the Cryolophosaurus have perished in the fall. Now that he is by himself, he will have to try and find a new herd. Several hours have passed, and there are signs of life. The male Cryolophosaurus survived the plunge. Despite being knocked unconscious from the impact, it seems that the body of the female Glaciolosaurus cushioned his fall. And now, he also has something to eat. He'll need some protein if he's going to make it anywhere with the females. Having eaten his fill, he resumes his search. And what happens about a week later is inevitable. Cryolophosaurus represents a huge step forward in the evolution of theropods. With their competition gone, these dinosaurs are able to be the top of the food chain. But this 7-meter hypercarnivore, and the animals he shares his world with, merely represent the beginning of a long road to some absolute behemoths beyond the this giant continent.